Good morning. I wish to share with you an experience of devotional gatherings. In our cluster, it's a neighboring cluster to London here, Oxford, Perth, Huron. And our devotional gathering emerged as a result of the lockdowns that ensued in 2020. A group of friends came together thinking that the lockdown would probably only last a maximum of 2, maximum 3 weeks. We had this gift of time. So we thought, well, we haven't had time to study together. Let's take that opportunity to do so. And we did. And so we studied one of the courses on consultation. And we enjoyed that course very much together, and we finished it quickly. And at the end of it, we were at this position with, well, we have all of this newfound understanding on this powerful tool that consultation is in terms of unity building, that how is it that we can now put that into action? So we need an activity. So we said, okay, we're all locked down in our homes at the moment. We're learning how we use Zoom, and we can teach one another how to use Zoom. So let's start with a devotional gathering. And then we looked at it, we thought, okay, let's do a devotional gathering every day. Let's do it at dawn. What does dawn mean? We went to the guidance. Dawn is, from sunrise to 2 hours after sunrise. And we consulted at the time, and we thought, okay, 7:30 in the morning is an appropriate time in which to have dawn prayers, as it fits both dawn in the summer as well as dawn in the wintertime. And so we started this as a group. And sometimes one person would show up of the team. Sometimes the whole team would show up. And gradually, as we continued to do it, there was regular participation. And as we started to reach out to our friends, our neighbors, our families, then people started to come into the space. And we realized, okay, we need to think about the sort of environment that we want to create here and how we can do it in this sort of medium that is, this virtual medium that is Zoom, to create the love and belonging that a devotional environment requires. And so we decided to meet together regularly. And what eventually emerged was a set of programming that we have today. And since that time when we started, actually we're kind of celebrating our second year this month, thank you. We've had dawn prayers every morning, and we've never missed. And what has happened as a result of that is that as we've sort of developed stronger bonds of unity and friendship as a team, we've got to know each other very well. We've got to learn about how we can reflect on the container that we're providing to folks. We wanted to be able to help people to realize that there's a space where they could come, where they could avoid isolation, where they could connect with one another and say prayers with one another. It says in the Bahá'í writings that prayer is the food for the soul. And we know how intimate we feel with one another when we sit and we have a meal. So how much more intimate when we sit and say prayers collectively? And what we've heard from some of the participants that have come into this space, that they felt very welcome, that this is a wonderful way to start their day, a wonderful way to connect with other souls. And we also realize that as a part of devotional gatherings, there's also this element of having profound conversations. So sometimes we set aside only 20 minutes each morning. And then we realized that friends wanted to stay and talk about a reading that was read, or a prayer they hadn't heard before, or a story about Abdul-Baha that had been shared. And so we decided that we needed to have one space a week that was longer, to enable people to study particular guidance, share a little bit about themselves and their journey to the revelation of Baha'u'llah and their understanding of it and service to humanity. And so our Monday extended space was born. And it was very fortuitous that it was born because our beloved Universal House of Justice, the governing body for the Baha'is of the world, gave us this flood of guidance in that first year and the second year, that we had an opportunity to study that guidance in this space. And that enabled some friends to connect more deeply with our governing body and to understand what they were asking us to do and to have hope for what was happening in the world as well. And so one of the stories that I will close with is about a dear friend of ours who passed away during the course of our year. And she had joined our space maybe about 6 to 9 months or so as her health was declining, and she was cared for by her family. And once she found out about our space, she wanted to attend every morning. But the family that was taking care of her, that wasn't the rhythm of their life. So what would happen is she would attempt to get out of bed herself, and eventually this enabled the family to also develop that rhythm of getting up early in the morning and attending the space. And so we had this family and her coming and sharing prayers, sharing her love for this space, and being there as, you know, in the twilight of her life and as she made her journey to the Creator. It was so special to have the bounty to share that with her, but also to create a space where the family had somewhere to grieve with people who knew who she was, and they could do that in that space, and they felt comfortable to do that. And I think that devotional gatherings have this sort of deeper impact in our communities in terms of really strengthening the bonds of our friendship and taking us beyond that sort of surface level friendship that sometimes we are happy with, but really doesn't go as deep as it needs to in order to build vibrant communities. Thank you.